Master Tavern Keeper's History of the Old World. Now, as we're in the north of Albion in our conversation, I think it's worth talking about the lakes of the northwest and the infamous Black Lake of Ochness.
Ah, yes, by all means. What's that then?
Well, just north of the Giant's Causeway is the Lake of Ochness. It is a black place, both in colour and mood. The surface of the lake itself is ebon and glassy smooth, like some piece of highly polished dark obsidian, and its inky depths are no different. It appear to be bottomless. Of course, this is said of many large stretches of water, but it may be actually true in this case, for it's rumoured that at its lowest point there's an underground tunnel that links it to the great ocean. Now, the place is shunned by all but the most foolhardy of Albionites, although it being Albion, there are plenty of fools around. Anyhow, much like Loch Lorne in East Albion, this great lake too has its monster. But it's not a known and avoidable creature like that in the Lorne. Rather, it's a mysterious thing, known by all as Boon Yip. Oh, yeah, so it is not the same type of creature that the drunken clansman in the tragedy of Macbeth encountered then? Indeed, I don't believe it is. The descriptions of it vary greatly, and although I used to live in that part of Albion, I have never laid eyes on it. I only know what my father told me about it when I was a wee bairn.
Come here. Come sit by the fire, Sedrik. So, you were asking about the monster of Ochness earlier, were you? Come then. Sit, and let me tell you of Boon Yip. Now, boy, the legends go that it has lived there in Ochness for time immemorial, even preceding the coming of the holy old ones and gods. They say that it preys on unwary travellers as they go around the lake's edge, taking a particular fancy to women and children. So you and your mum better steer clear, at least until you're older, eh? What it does is this. It plucks travellers from the track that runs along the shore before immediately diving back into the chilled depths to feast upon its victim. There are no remains, no signs of a struggle. People just vanish. But it's a secretive thing. Few have seen it, and fewer still have lived to tell the tale. Oh, what does it look like? Well, you know the old abandoned Crannog caves under the mountain? Well, at their lowest levels, drawn onto the cave walls themselves, myself and old Murch saw images of Boon Yip painted in faded red ochre and black paint. But each was very different. The oldest pictures showed a many-tentacled monster, more like a kraken than anything else. Others depicted a long-necked creature with flippers, like the one they say lives in Loch Lorne over in the east. Old Murch, though, discovered one hidden behind a boulder that was bizarre. It was a feathered thing with teeth the size of men. But anyhow, Most of the pictures were of a gigantic serpentine creature covered in scales over a sinuous body, draped in water weeds and propelled along by 4 webbed limbs. Its head dominated by a gaping maw lined with rows upon rows of incisors and eyes like red fire. With such a beast in our midst, you'd think that everyone would steer clear of the lake, but believe it or not, there's a tribe up in the hills near Ochness, living in the old caves there. For these, everything, the whole culture, centres around Boon Yip. Old Murch told me that even the rite of passage to achieve manhood for the young men of this tribe involves the monster of Ochness. Murch said that before the sun rises, each young man must walk slowly around the edge of the lake. If he breaks into a run, then he will be cast out of the tribe. But if he survives, then he is regarded as a man. Oh, yeah. Here, take this. It's a carved Boon Yip totem, a charm of protection. Old Murch got it for me from one of the tribesmen of Ochness. I showed it to our local Truthsayer, Baldock, but he said it was just a piece of wood, wouldn't do any good. But you never know. It's kept me safe, and I regularly go up to Ochness for fishing and hunting, as you know. And to be honest, I've never seen any monster, so maybe it does work. Anyhow, I hope it keeps you safe, my precious little one.
A few days later, my father went up to Ochness as usual, but he never returned. Oh, sorry, I seem to have something in my eye.
No doubt you do. Here, I'll get you a refill. Heinrich, come help me get a barrel up from the cellar.
Yeah, of course.
Here, get that down your neck, Sedrik. That'll help.
Cheers. Anyhow, despite all this talk of monsters and whatnot, Ochness is a very important place. And although most give it a wide berth, as I said, it is a place of great power, and it is used by some of us Truthsayers. There is a strange sect, the Weirds we call them, that travel from all over Albion to gaze upon the surface of Ochness. They're mostly Truthsayers, but not exclusively, and the numbers of, let's say, gifted Albionites in the sect is growing. Now, these individuals are able to see the future in the ripples formed by the winds blowing across the Black Lake, as well as by the direction of the birds passing over it, and even in the reflection of the heavenly bodies above in its surface. One of my fellow emigrants, Maoláin, the Outlander, had once been a member of this sect before being initiated into the Truthsayers proper. Although, despite this and his prodigious skills, he was always treated as an outsider, and it's probably this that led him to eventually quit Albion and return to the land of his mother, the land of Tilea, which is also why I ended up there. But anyhow, it's another story. Maoláin told us that on the night of the new moon, known by them as the Black Moon, the Truthsayers of the Weirds would sit with their disciples, chanting for hours upon end, until they finally entered a deep trance. When the black moon reached its zenith, it said that the lead truthsayer of the sect was able to read the skeins of the future through the stars as they were reflected in the surface of the Black Lake itself, making him a very powerful individual. The young leader of the sect, a man known as the Venerable Kekis, used to tell his followers that if an initiate was pure of heart, without doubt, and committed to his teachings, then he too would be gifted with wisdom. But if they were not, he told his followers that Bunyip would rise to the surface of Ochness and devour them. Maoláin said that he quickly became disillusioned with the teachings of Kekis, and he claimed that he believed he was little better than a manipulative charlatan, which is why Maoláin ended up leaving. I've never met this Kekis, so I cannot say anything about him, in confidence anyway, but let's just say there were lots of dark rumours surrounding him. As to what he's up to now, well, I have no idea. Anyhow, I think it's time for me to relieve some of this pressure on my bladder before I go on to tell you about my birthplace of Cranogmere, which is not so far from Ochness. Please excuse me, gentlemen.